Got my grape juice.
Right.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
All right, folks. There might be some technical difficulties. Should I lose this hat? I should lose this hat. There might be some. I'm not in my usual spot in my little studio. I'm in Barbados, and
I'm glad you cleared that up, Carl.
huh?
I'm glad you cleared that up because it looks like you're in a prison cell. I just want to put
Yeah, you see the brick in the back?
So there might be a little bit of the lighting might be off, which the lighting is off. Everything might be a little off today.
We're glad you're here, brother. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Just bear with us. All right. And I'm working off a laptop, which is not usual. But we're going to talk about a variety of things today. We're going to the 1619 project. We're also going to talk about Tiffany mentioned Chris Rock talked about getting slapped in his special.
And the most important thing we need to talk about is just this fool who thinks it's okay to bring back hanging people.
Right. Oh yeah, I got him. I got a
especially who's in line for being hung if that law does pass.
Of course, he knows what he's doing.
Some white people miss seeing black people hang on the tree.
All right. Here we go.
And I was just wondering about, could I put an amendment on that? It would include hanging by a tree also. And also, I would like to sign on to your bill, sir. Thank you.
You know, lynching's a hate crime, right? You want to bring back lynching people? How racist are you exactly, Paul? Just like 1 to 10. 1 to 10, how racist are you? Bring back stringing people up from trees, Paul? Is that really what you want? You think that's a step that's funny to you? You know how offensive that is, man? Do you have any idea how offensive that is? You know how offensive that is to so many people? Do you have any idea, Paul?
Wow.
Mr. Sherrell is a hot mess.
He actually thought that bringing back lynching was going to be funny. I mean, the guy's laughing.
The fact that he's not fired from his job is outrage.
And what kind of humor is that?
I mean, people have gotten fired for less things. Okay, so if he said, let's put, I hate to go down this rabbit hole again, but if he even made a slight comment about lynching Jewish people, or he didn't mention lynching black people. So
we know what he meant.
But we know what he meant. We're not stupid. So yeah. But these guys can say anything against black people and don't lose their job. There's no repercussions. There's nothing. Just say what you want to say and get away with it. They're not even like hiding anymore, Tiff and Carl. They're just basically, saying what they mean out loud. And there's nobody holding them responsible. This guy should be fired.
All right, let me show. So they canceled. We talked about Dilbert last week, but
yes, he's been canceled a lot.
Yeah, let me show him again.
If nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group, and I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population. Because unfortunately, there's a high correlation between the density. And this is according to Don Lemon, by the way. So here I'm just quoting Don Lemon when he notes that when he lived in a mostly black neighborhood, there were a bunch of problems that he didn't see in white neighborhoods. So even Don Lemon sees a big difference in your own quality of living based on where you live and who's there. So I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's no longer a rational impulse. And so I'm gonna back off from being helpful to black America because it doesn't seem like it pays off. Like I've been doing it all my life, and the only outcome is I get called a racist. That's the only outcome. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white. It's over. Don't even think it's worth trying.
Get away from black people. They dangerous. Just get away.
What does he mean by stop trying to help black people? How is he helping?
I told you they gave us free schooling, free
geez.
food. Again, This is fair use, educational purposes. This is our opinion, no one else's. Thank you. Or everything is alleged.
Well, first of all, they didn't give us anything. Everything that black people have in this country was bought and fought for by the blood of our ancestors. Nothing was given to us. Obviously, as you can tell from the guy that wants to bring back hanging, if they had their way, and if Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, gets his way, and Trump gets his way, and their followers get their way, they'll pass every law in the books to make sure things are reversed and go back. I think they want to go back.
Yeah,
they want to reverse progress.
The title of this show is pretty long, but it's America continues to show black people they're not accepted, yet we hold on to hope. Like, why? What have we wait? I mean, it's been hundreds of years. All right, let me show this video right here.
Nicole, I wanted to ask you about what happened with your tenure. Last summer, you were up for tenure at the University of North Carolina, which was your alma mater, great basketball team. You're an educator, you're Pulitzer Prize and Peabody winner, but you were denied tenure there. You were reoffered it, but you turned it down and decided to go to Howard University.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and how that's going.
Thank you. You know, it was very painful to be denied tenure at my alma mater. I was more qualified than everyone else who had ever been in that position. Yeah. What they did was unprecedented, and I clearly sent a message to black women and other members of marginalized groups that you can do everything that you're told you're supposed to do in this society, and then they'll just change the rules. Yeah. So I was determined to change the rules too then, and to show... It was important to me in that moment because so many people were watching to see how would I respond, to show that we don't have to accept crumbs. If we've been disrespected, then we can exercise our own power and we can go somewhere where we are respected. Yeah. And I'm very happy at Howard. It was an amazing time.
Shout out to Nicole Hannah-Jones.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
All right, let me show this one, and then we're going to start the show. I like this is us.
Do you believe that? Do you believe all white people are inherently racist?
So, I don't know if you're backing me into a corner with that question, but yes, I do.
All right. First of all, I want to start off by saying the audacity of this white woman to even ask such a question. They were having a dialogue about critical race theory, and she just threw this question in there. But since she did, let's get at it. This type of question is like asking, are all people inherently thieves? A lot of people will say, I've never stole a thing in my life. But then the question has to be asked, have you ever been put in a circumstance that strips you down to the core of who you are? Like, would you steal if you were starving? Or have your children ever been hungry? Your answers change based off of things like that. Well, the legacy of white supremacy has created a world that white people don't have to be racist in today. This is why it's so crazy when you run into somebody who actually is racist. It's like, you guys won. and got away with everything. What are you mad about? What are you tripping about? Follow the language. Wherever you find their language, you will most likely find the most brutal forms of rape, torture, murder, pedophilia, slavery, deception, etc. How many Africans do you have speaking French, but they're not from France? Go all through South America, you'll run into black, brown, and red people who are speaking Spanish and they're not from Spain. Ask the Congolese people what happened when they came into contact with the white folks coming out of Belgium. Over 10 to 15 million of them murdered, mutilated, killed, children's body parts being hung up in the middle of the streets to make an example of who's in power there. Go to Brazil and see original people speaking Portuguese, but they're not from Portugal. Ask the Aborigines what happened when they came into contact with white folks in Australia. Hell, I'm speaking English right now, and ask the African and the Native Americans what happened when we came into contact with the English. Go to Bermuda and watch the Queen of England on their money, etc., etc., etc. The same story. Different countries with different white folks who all woke up with the same idea to go around the world and brutalize indigenous people. So the barbaric whites come in and take everything, and then the good whites come behind and drink tea and treat you right? Maybe you don't have to show inherent racism because you inherited a legacy of racism that affords you the privilege to not have to be racist. Yeah, it's easy to be nice when 91% of nuclear warheads is owned by Russia and America. How we all act when Africa is a superpower with weapons of mass destruction like every other independent nation? Because ain't nothing more dangerous or racist than a scared white person. Could you trust a nigga with a trigger? I do believe that there are solid white folks in this climate who may want better for all. White people today have the chance to show a better face through action, not through lying about history, like how public school taught me that the first president, George Washington, never told a lie and then skipped over all the slaves that he owned. Bottom line, our days of trying to figure out if there are some good white folks, those days are over. Our only job is to produce independent culture that empowers us, that protects us, and that makes us less vulnerable to every damn thing.
All right. That brother said it all.
Right. And that was the mic drop. Woo. I'll drink to that.
Oh.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow. The Black Therapy Show. We in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite. No more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know, with Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We be giving you empathy. We gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwashed education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God up above. No. It's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, first of all, I am not in prison. I know the walls behind me. I am not incarcerated. I am on, kind of a vacation, but I'm not. I'm doing a show from the lovely island of Barbados, where I was born and raised. And I'm actually in a house, and there's no chains on my feet. So just to clear that up, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Thank you so much, Tiffany. How are you, my lovely?
I'm good. Recovering from my no. I'm just recovering from my hair surgery, but God is good. Everybody take care of your health.
All right.
Yes, amen.
Kevin, what's going on, brother?
Busy, man. I am busy. I'm gonna be like Tom. Remember Tom and Jerry? The episode we had to put the toothpicks in his eyes. That's me, bro. But I'm trying to make this happen.
Busy is always good.
Just traveling, man. Just been busy. Yes.
All right.
But I'm blessed. I'm here. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So today we're gonna talk about. Hey, what's up, Norma Staley? What's up, Grandma? Gina Fiore. What's up, Gina?
Hey, Gina.
Gina said she watched the Chris Rock show and wanted to know our take on it. I haven't watched it. Kevin haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it.
She said the last 7 minutes were hilarious, but Kevin said he's getting some pushback from black
Twitter,
black folks from Black Twitter. So
you know why? You know why? Because look, I'm a Chris Rock fan.
Yeah,
I've worked with Chris Rock before. He's always been just a cool guy when I've been in his presence, and I just I know we're comedians and we're supposed to. There's no way he can let this go. He has to address it. But I just wish he didn't. I just wish he would have just didn't address it, because as much as the public want him to address it, I think sometimes you have to be bigger. And I think that he should have let it go. That's just my personal opinion. Now, Will Smith slapped me. Would I let it go on when I got on stage? Me personally, no, I wouldn't. So
Okay, so how you gonna tell him?
I'm being a hypocrite, but I'm not Chris Rock either. I'm Kevin Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not at Chris's level. If I was at Chris's level of success, I will rethink the situation. At the level I'm at right now, yeah, I'm an opportunist. If he slapped me, I'm definitely gonna ride with it, because you know what I'm saying? Because the level I'm at as an entertainer. But at Chris's level, I don't think Chris needs to go there. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I mean, he's a grown man. He can do what he want to do. And I think I'd have been happier if he just sued the shit out of Will Smith and took his money instead of taking it to the stage. And the reason I'm saying this, as an African American, I think we got to stop. And what Will Smith did was totally wrong. I'm not. It was out of control, and I'm pissed at him about it. But I think we have to stop fighting each other publicly, especially at the levels that we are, because everybody's watching us and they're seeing what we're doing to each other, Tiffany. That's my point. I think that Chris got to look at the bigger picture, and that is they are watching us fight each other publicly. And what Will Smith did was the world saw it. You know, the world saw it. But Chris's response, even though he's a comedian, and as a comedian, if Call Yard slapped me, I'm gonna be on stage talking about it in my comedy special coming up. So I'm kind of being a hypocrite in a sense, Tiffany, but I'm also looking at the bigger picture. I get it why he's doing it. He's a comedian. He has to, go there as a comic. You have to, but
but what?
As an African American, it breaks my heart to see these two huge celebrities fighting publicly with each other.
We don't like it. We don't like it. Yes, we understand that, Kev. We don't like it. But Will Smith publicly embarrassed him in front of millions of people. And he waited a whole year. He did not disrespect him. He did not, while Will is going out there talking and talking and talking and talking. No, he had all rights to express himself on the stage where he felt comfortable. Y'all all comedians. Y'all know how it feels. If somebody tried to play you, he had to come out and he had to say something. And something that he did say, and I want y'all to watch it first before we talk about it. I'm sorry, y'all. I want my two comedian brothers to watch it first before we even judge it. But he did say why he didn't respond to him hitting him is because his parents raised him right and told him, you do not fight with nobody in front of white people.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
And that's my point. But that's my point. But now he's still, and that's my point. And it's not physical. He's not physically fighting, but he's still fighting. Because now he's verbally fighting because he took it to the stage, and he gonna get the upper hand because he's a comedian. Will Smith is not a comedian. Will Smith is probably on the set right now filming Bad Boys 4, but with Martin Lawrence, who's another comedian,
and a
friend of both guys. So, but I just wish this wasn't happening.
Let me show. I got a bit of Chris Rock here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But
Need to smoke. Y'all know what happened to me. Getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows. Everybody fucking knows. Yes, it happened. I got smacked like a year ago. Fucking last week, I got smacked at the fucking Oscars by this motherfucker. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears. Fucking drums, please. But I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. You will never see it. Never gonna happen. I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No. It's never gonna No. Fuck that shit. I took that hit like Pacquiao, motherfucker. I took it like motherfucking Pacquiao, okay? Shit, man. Did it hurt? Yeah, motherfucking it hurt. And people are like, well, you guys are fighting all the time. We're not fighting. First of all, I know you can't tell on camera. Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. We are not the same size, okay? We are not. This guy, Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You've never seen me do a movie with my shirt off. If I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, I got on a sweater. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part? He played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City. Pookie, motherfucker. I played a piece of corn in Pootie Tang.
It's more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went in. It's still like 2-3 minutes more.
Yeah. But I mean,
So he went on Jada. I think people are okay with him. I haven't seen. I'm gonna watch it, Tiff. Then we'll talk about it probably in the next show. But I'll watch the whole thing. But I think, well, from what I understand on Black Twitter, is everybody's writing about him going in on Jada, and Jada's. I mean, you got to think about it. Jada's not the most well-liked person, but the fact that Black Twitter is standing up for her is showing you that they're supporting the sister in a way, because they go hard at Chris Rock. Whatever he said about Jada, and I didn't see it.
She said that she had sex with her son's best friend and put it on her show, and then questioned her husband. How do you feel about me sucking somebody else's? I mean, come on. It's real talk. It's all documented. She did it. She wrote it down. So my thing is, he can't express himself, but they can express themselves. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Right.
Well, what's interesting to me is when Kevin said that how they're looking at us. You know what I mean? Meaning that even though we are trying to be, looked at equally in America, white America still looked at it as two black men going after each other. That's how they look at it. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. The bigger picture, because I think now we got, if you go on YouTube now, everybody's at the Diddy, everybody's after everybody's fighting Jay-Z, and Beyonce is getting licks every. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. And
why are we the only people doing that?
Don't fall down the rabbit hole, because it's a lot of negativity, a lot of lies that is being posted. That's why you have to do your own digging, and you do your own searching for your information, because everybody would do anything for likes and clicks.
But this is black people. This is black people. This is it's black people going after them. Look, Beyonce and Jay-Z are two of the most successful people in the world, not America. They're two of the most successful people in the world, and we don't embrace them as being successful entrepreneurs and businessmen and all that stuff. Jay-Z is a businessman. He spent more time probably in suits and in boardroom meetings than he does in the studio these days. So, but we're not acknowledging that. We're not giving him props for that. I mean, black people are going after Beyonce. Oh, they're part of the Illuminati and
because those are those haters and ignorant.
Maybe they are, but my point is, we're not embracing successful black people right now. Publicly, we're trying to tear successful black people down. I see it every day on YouTube. I see it every day on TikTok. We are tearing successful black people down, and if the white guy did it, we'd be all upset about it. But it's black people tearing other successful black people down.
It's horrible. We should not be tearing each other down, especially where we came from and the history that we came from. And the whole thing was a mess. Again, Will let his emotions supersede everything, and he went on stage and he disrespected one of his comedian comrades.
Right.
It's out of order. And he chose them because he knew that he was not going to fight back like that. You understand? And because of his size, and you don't do that. I don't like that. That is out of order. And you're right. We don't supposed to be fighting against one another. But that was out of order. So I'm happy that he finally said something and he stood up and he said stuff that people were saying in their head. Like I said, next week we can hopefully talk about this because they're going to be talking about this for a couple of weeks.
Right. And I'm gonna watch it. I think every comedian that has come out and said, if Will Smith smacked me, we'd be fighting. And I'm guilty of one of them. You know, I say that too. If he smacked me, I'm gonna steal him back. I'm fighting him back. You know, but you never know what you're gonna do until you're in that moment. You know, and like Chris Rock said, Chris Rock's a small guy. He's real small, petite dude. You know him. You've been around him, right, Carl? He's a very small dude.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, he's tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny dude. And Will Smith is
like
Will Smith is buff. Will Smith is a big dude. Will Smith was 6'2". He's a big dude, man. So you know, yeah. So I mean, you know, I don't think it was a size thing. I don't think he smacked him because I think he smacked because he's mad. I don't think he smacked him because he was small.
And he also expressed that too. And he said he got smacked because he's mad at Jada. And he shouldn't have been that victim. You understand? To get smacked. Because they say he was laughing at the joke. Now all of a sudden you get that look. And then you running over there like your woman is in distress. Nobody wasn't hurting her. And then what I've actually got into an argument with somebody, a podcaster. She felt like Chris Rock was disrespecting Jada because of her hair condition.
He didn't know.
Again, I'm going to say this, being a 23-year cosmetologist license, Jada didn't have no severe alopecia. She had a 0.1 alopecia. You know why? Because a person with alopecia, you cannot be out in the street with your hair out because you have bald spots all over your head. Her head did not look like. Did you see bald spots on her head? I'm asking y'all, and men, did y'all see bald spots?
It just looked like she shaved her head.
That's it. Because if she had bald spots, she would have wore a wig. Right. She would have wore a wig. She looked beautiful that night. That's what's so crazy, and I said it. She looked beautiful that night. I would have watched G.I. Jane, and would have watched it and knew she would have tore that part up. But now, I ain't watching nothing from you for 7 years. That's it. I'm done.
Let me just jump in here with a quick rant. I showed a video earlier. I'm going to show this again, and I'm telling you the problem I have with.
It was Chinese immigrants and Black Americans who were considered the two groups who could not be assimilated. Mm-hmm. And so,
Nicole, I wanted to ask you about what happened with your tenure. Last summer, you were up for tenure at the University of North Carolina, which was your alma mater, great basketball team.
All right, they're talking. The lady interviewing the lady that wrote the
Nicole Hannah Jones.
I know this is. I don't understand Black women are blonde hair. I don't get it. I personally believe that if you're truly an advocate for civil rights and all about helping Black people and Black this and Black that, you should not have white people's hair on your head.
Now, who are you talking about?
That lady that was talking right there in that.
Well, I think she was one of the co-hosts of The View.
Yeah.
And they probably put her on there. And you already know how they are. A lot of those ladies want to put that blonde hair in, and they want to fit in.
To me, it takes something away from your Blackness. You know what I mean? What is wrong with natural hair? White women do not put Afro wigs on their head and go to work. They don't kink up their hair. You know what I mean? Even when white women come to the Caribbean and they go to the beach and they get their hair in cornrow, as soon as they get back to America, that cornrow is gone and they're back to this straight, silky hair. So what is wrong with Black hair? What is wrong with Black hair?
It's really nothing wrong with Black hair. First of all, women are getting comfortable back into their natural hair. Also, when you're working in the corporate field, when your hair is relaxed and straight, white people are comfortable. But when it's too nappy and too much, they can't handle it. They feel like you need to tame it.
But we can't keep comporting ourselves to fit their narrative. You
know, well, that's
but it doesn't have to be. But it's blonde though. That's what I'm saying. It's blonde.
Well, how you think I feel when I watch African movies and all the women got all these lace front wigs on? They got all these bleached out hands, and you looking like this. What is going on?
I'm not telling people what to do. This is just a rant. This is just you can say a pet peeve of mine. Black women with blonde hair, it just takes away from your blackness, and I don't see how you can be speaking against racism to white people with their hair on your head. I just don't see it.
You know what, Carl? I'm leaving. I'll leave next week for the Bahamas. When I'm over I was in the Bahamas last year performing over there. You know how many Bahamian women walk around with blonde hair?
Yeah. Oh, same here in Barbados. Same hair.
So it's not just America. Yeah.
Asian women too. Asian
but here's the thing
too.
about it: is the women over in the Bahamian women are most of them are real brown skin, right? And they get the blonde hair, so it really stands out like crazy. Yeah. It's not like it's not like red bones over here or whatever the case may be. They have over there the dark skinned women with the blonde hair, so it really stands out, and it trips me out. I think it's a fashion statement, bro. I think it's just a fashion thing. I don't know if it's something that.
I think it goes a little deeper.
It's deeper than that.
So my daughter came to my show last week, and I think her hair is like all sorts of different colors. I think it was green and red and blue. I mean, that girl is out of her mind. I mean, she's So I think, I think I could be wrong. I think it's a fashion thing. You guys think it's something deeper?
Is your daughter gothic?
Yeah. I don't. She has her moments.
Yeah, I was about to say because that's what I saw when I saw a little gothic look.
She does.
I thought her piece. She's so cute. I love her.
Well, thank you. Yeah, she does her gothic thing, but then you'll see her in a month from now, and she'll look totally different. So she's a chameleon. She changes her looks up a lot. But she got that from her dad. I was that guy when I was young. I was that guy who changed my looks a lot when I was young. I didn't want to look the same. I always tried to do something different with my hair. I mean, I had locks, I had cornrows. I had everything back in the day. So
yeah. But I mean, we all know. I mean, the reason that people did permanent hair back in the day was because they wanted to be accepted, right? James Brown said it. You know what I mean? That's why he permed his hair.
They put relaxer in their hair,
right?
And stuff.
Trying to be accepted.
Processing.
You know what I mean? I'm not.
Well, what about guys, Carl? What about guys? Because like last night I watched UFC fights. One of my favorite fighters is a brother, and he's your complexion, Carl, but he has his hair blonde. But that's why I say I think it's a fashion statement. I don't think this brother is trying to be white.
Statement.
Blonde.
I don't think he's trying to be white. I think he's trying to stand out. You know what I'm saying?
Blonde and straight. But there is something there where black people think that straight, silky hair is better than nappy hair.
Oh, hell yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That's what got what's her name?
I'm not dissing the sisters too hard, but I just think when you are speaking about civil rights and you have a blonde, you have platinum blonde.
Yeah, you have to come correct to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's just not to cut you off. That's just like if I'm doing hair and makeup. I have to come to you looking like I do hair and makeup. Like I look like I put myself together. I can't come to you looking all raggedy, dry, and stuff like that, trying to perform a service, So you can't fight the power with seriously blonde hair.
But that's just a random mind. So did we talk about this guy that there's a Republican senator he basically wants to bring back lynching. Now, he's not saying specifically for black people, but he's in Tennessee, right? I think he's in Tennessee, and the majority of the prison population in Tennessee is black. But what is he hoping to get out of hanging somebody from a tree? Let me play the video again for those of you who have not seen it.
And I was just wondering about, could I put an amendment on that? It would include hanging by a tree also. And also, I would like to sign on to your bill, sir. Thank you.
Lynching's a hate crime, right? You want to bring back lynching people? How racist are you exactly, Paul? Just like 1 to 10. 1 to 10, how racist are you? Bring back string of people up from trees, Paul? Is that really what you want? You think that's it's funny to you? You know how offensive that is, man? Do you have any idea how offensive that is? You know how offensive that is to so many people? Do you have any idea, Paul?
Wow.
Lynching. Why? Like, what's the benefit of that? Okay, there's different forms of punishment. Of all the different forms of punishment, he wants to bring back hanging from a tree, as he called it. But we all know he wants to lynch. He wants to lynch black people.
Well, can I say something real quickly?
Yeah.
Because we had a debate on this show. I don't know if this was since Tiff has been with us or not, but we have debated on the show 1,000 times about the difference between Republicans and Democrats, and I'm a Democrat. Most Democrats I know, especially Black Democrats, we hold Democrats responsible when they don't do what they're supposed to do. If Biden's effing up, we hold him responsible. We call him out. If anybody is a Democrat that's messing up, they get called out. But there is no Democrat nowhere in Congress in America that would say what this guy just said. And remember, it was the Republican Party that was fighting to keep up the Confederate flag statues around America, and it was the Democrats that were fighting to take down those statues. So I just want to point out that when we had these debates about the Democrats and Republicans, who's better for Black people, and look, none of them are perfect, and Democrats make a lot of mistakes, and they're not perfect, but they're not fighting to keep statues of Robert E. Lee erected up in America. You know, they're not fighting to bring laws to hang people back, lynching back. They're not fighting to make voting tough for Black people in states like Georgia and passing all these stupid laws where you can't bring water to senior citizens, which only affects Black people who normally go vote on Sundays at the church. You know, so there's a big difference, between the two parties. So I just want to point that out because we've had this debate with guests on the show and amongst ourselves, the panels, participants in this show over the years about that. And I just want to point that out, that they're not even close.
Yeah, it's a difference, but the Democrats need to do more for our people. They're almost the same people. It's just one is throwing stones and hiding their faces and acting like they down with us. We have saw that in history. This is why we have to watch the 1619 Project, because it tells us how everything started from the beginning. Not 1765, 1619, when we put our feet on these grounds without no permission. We didn't ask to come here. We was born here to level their ground and help them build this country. We are the foundational Black people of America. So I don't care. Both of them need to come up, and they definitely need to go down south and help them people with some health care and better wages. I'm sorry, that was commercial.
So you guys think that a lot of white people are just tired hiding their racism? They're just tired. I mean, they're just flat out saying how they feel. Like they're just tired, hiding it.
Well, I think with something that Miss Jones expressed, Trump opened up a lot of doors with his rhetoric, with how he feel about certain things, especially the white evangelical people. Everything that they were feeling and they couldn't say it, he said it and set a fire to their thing. They was happy. So this is why I think it always been there. Look at our country. This is what it was built on. It's always been there. It's just that Trump and he ignited it. And I'm glad because we be able to get to see people for who they are. Because a lot of people are closed-minded. They don't want to see what's going on. They comfortable, as I always say, in their dysfunction. But we have to have knowledge. We have to have some type of history of our people. It just don't start with Martin Luther King and abolishing slavery. It goes way back that is affecting us today.
Kevin, I think this is directed towards what you said earlier. James Way, what's up, James? James Way from YouTube has a question. He said, question, wasn't the Klan brought in by Democrats? No difference. They want to hang us from the same tree. Democrats. And he's asking, Democrats doing what for us today?
I'd love to answer that. First of all, I just told you, but yeah, you're right. Is it James?
Yeah, James.
James, thanks for watching the show, James. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Democrats were the party of the KKK. They were the party that hung, lynched, and did all that sort of stuff back in the day. Here's what happened, though, James. Let me see how I can put this. Strong Thurman, and you can do your own research on this because the show's on the hour long, but Strong Thurman and all these guys, the party switched basically. The party, and black people were mostly Republicans back in those days,
right about that.
But because Lincoln freed the slaves, everybody, I'm gonna be a Republican because Lincoln looked out for the black people, even though Lincoln really didn't look out for black people. But anyway, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But my point was yes, people always go back and go, well, wasn't the Democrats the ones that did all the hanging and slavery and fought again? It was the Democrats. The party switched because let me see how I can put this real quickly. The party switched, and it started with before when Kennedy started working, when the Kennedy brothers were working with Dr. King to help pass the Civil Rights Act, and of course, John F. Kennedy didn't live to see it. He was assassinated for many reasons, but he was helping, to work on the Civil Rights Act before he was assassinated. His brother, Bobby, continued his work after he passed. If you do some research on that, working with Dr. King and other civil rights leaders back in those days to get the civil rights thing passed. And then Bobby, of course, was assassinated and then was passed under Lyndon B. Johnson, right? I believe. And then Nixon and Reagan came into play. Do some research on Nixon and Reagan, two Republican presidents, by the way, who are the most racist. Those two guys were two of the most racist people to ever hold office. I ain't gonna say too much on this show right now. I can't, and I'll tell my panel. I'll tell my two co-hosts after. We'll do a show on this.
One of the questions that keeps coming up all the time when we talk about Democrats and Republicans, and James asked this question: what have the Democrats done for black people? What are they doing for black people? People want to. People, I'm sure James wants specifics. Tiffany?
I don't think James wants to know. If James wants to know, James has probably a cell phone. He definitely has a laptop or a computer to be watching this show. All you gotta do is Google, James. You got a wealth of information right in front of you in the palm of your hand. Everybody has a cell phone, and in that cell phone is a wealth of knowledge. You don't have to challenge Kevin Lee or Carl or Tiffany. You can do all your homework yourself. Yeah, we appreciate you watching the show. We appreciate the debate. All this stuff makes the show go smooth, and people watch it. People love debate and all that sort of stuff. It's a beautiful thing. We're glad you're watching the show. But you have a wealth of information right in the palm of your hand. You can Google yourself what the Democrats are doing for black people or what they're doing, period. I tell you what they're not doing. They're not going around talking about passing a law to lynch people. I tell you what they did do. They did put a black man in the White House, whether you like him or not, whether you think he didn't do anything for black people or not. We had a black family. He wasn't a Republican, that's for sure. You'll never see a black Republican president or a black Republican first lady, or you never see, if Trump was in office right now, for example, or DeSantis becomes president in 2024, we'll come back to this conversation.
Well,
go ahead, Tiffany.
Listen, I understand what he means. Visually, yes, we see that we did have a black president. That's a step in which they would have never, ever did, ever. But also, what is physically, what did we get? Because in a lot of ways, we are still stuck in, we supposed to be so much further. And I understand what he meant. Like, it's no progress. And you have mentioned, we had progress, but not where it's supposed to have been. But something you mentioned about Abraham Lincoln. They said Abraham Lincoln wanted the black Negro folks to leave America.
That's right.
They would not leave America. They said, no, why would we leave America when you brought us on these shores? You understand? And they said they wasn't going anywhere. They was
What happened, Tiffany?
here.
Tiffany, can I correct you, sister?
Yes.
Can I correct you? Lincoln spoke about sending all black people back out of this country. He was assassinated before he was able to put it into works.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact.
Right.
So Lincoln didn't think we were smart. He didn't think we were equal.
Oh, no, I believe that, but I'm just saying.
He wanted to send all people of color back out of this country to another country, and he probably would have arranged for it to happen if he wasn't assassinated. So,
it's not. No, listen, I understand, but I'm saying that it was to that level that year. They saying that he helped us, but in a way, he didn't want us here anymore.
No,
we done built your country. Now you want us to we want to leave out of here. You brought us here. No, we're gonna stay here. So I understood that. You know,
I would like. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
I would like James to do some research.
Yeah,
I would like James to do some research.
All of this is documented. All of this you can just go on and look it up. Everything is documented.
I'll let James do some research on the Kennedy
brothers. A lot of people felt like Obama and Democrats in general they can do more.
Yeah, they could have did more.
They just don't.
Yeah, just like our celebrities, they could do more.
Yeah,
but they don't. People that's influential can do more, but they don't. It's us that's the middle class, and that's deep too, because I didn't know. How you know, but you don't know. But I didn't know in other countries, it's either extremely rich or poor. It's no middle class. So that's why a lot of countries is not functioning. So we are the middle class that are making things go round. That's making this world go round for hundreds of years.
And nothing's going to change. There's always going to be poor people in the world. There's always going to be middle class people in the world. So here's my point. When people go, what have Democrats done for black people? All right, so what is it that black people want? Can somebody answer that, for example? Because all right, so we want to be
better health care.
We want there's white people about health care, Tiffany.
Wages, better, higher wages.
There's white people. There's millions of poor white people in America. By the way, anybody watching this show, there's millions of poor white people. There's millions of white people with no health insurance. There's millions of white people with no cars. There's millions of white people with no jobs. There's millions of white people. There are millions of white people in prison. There's millions of white people that are struggling, that are middle class.
But they're a shower away from a manager's job. What are you talking about? Are you saying my sister's down there working, busting her ass, but they will have a dope fiend as a manager before they hire a black woman to run the business properly? Come on.
That's not the Democrats. That's not the Democrats' fault. But that's not something that can be fixed by Democrats, Tiffany. Democrats can't fix that.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. Both parties need to work together. It's not all about Democrat and Republic. Both parties need to work together so we can have a better world, since everybody want to come here. You got to remember this. Well, I know this is not a black and white world. You understand? No more. This is a multicultural world, and we have to be treated as such. And they're not doing that. Still, they underhand us. They cut us down. They do not let us get to. We here. They will not let us get to here, or they're going to stop us at a standstill, and that's not good. That's not right. So
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying everything. We can't blame everything on politicians, is what I'm trying to say. I know politicians have a responsibility. They get hired to go to office to help us. They get hired. I mean, I was just complaining the other day about why am I paying toll booths? Why I got to go through this toll? Why I got to put on my Easy Pass driving down this highway, and every 3 miles, my Easy Pass is getting swiped. But I already pay taxes already, so they double dipping on me. You know, that's my
You are
argument.
paying a nigga tax.
I'm getting double. I'm getting double dipped. But you know what? The guy in the white guy in the car behind me is going through the same thing. He paid
Right.
his federal taxes and his in his state taxes, and he's still is swiping. They're swiping his card too. So it's not a class thing at that point. It's just it's American greed.
All right, let me read a couple comments here. James responded to you, Kev. James says, I get you, bro. The fact is each party was in power. The fact is when each party was in power, they did squat for black people. The time is past for believing in parties. I have done the research 35 years being awake, not woke. So basically, I have done the research 35 years being awake, not woke. So he's saying it doesn't make a difference. And Wayne also said something. Wayne said, Kevin, I know my people history. The Democratic and Republicans are the same, are both the same, he's saying. They use us. He said, okay, Zimbabwe took back their land from the white people and America put sanctions on the country that caused millions up to today. And this was under both parties. Both are evil. So he's saying Zimbabwe took the land back from the black people and the American government put sanctions on Zimbabwe, both Democrat and Republican. So people seem to think there's no difference between Democrat and Republican. None of them do anything for black people.
They don't do enough. They don't do enough.
They can think that all they can think that. They have the right to think that. And those are the people that aren't going to go to the polls and vote either because they think the Democrats are the same. And then that's why Ron DeSantis is going to end up in the White House in 2024. And then that's why a guy who's already saying screw Black history books in Florida will now be sitting in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the most powerful man in the world. So if the same guy who's a Republican who's saying banish Black History Month in the state of Florida is running for the White House, what do you think he's gonna do when he gets that power?
No, listen, we're not telling nobody not to vote.
They're not going to vote, though, Tiffany. They're not going to vote because both parties suck. Both parties are bad. The Democrats and Republicans, people that say the Democrats and Republicans are the same, those are the people that don't go to the polls.
Listen, vote for the people that is for your community and that's going to give back to your community. That's my thing. That's who you vote for. Those are people that you go and you investigate, you learn about, and see if they have did anything for your community. I don't think too many of our people have died for voting. And that was another thing that we talked that was in the 1619 project. So many people lost their life to be able to vote. They put on so many restrictions, especially in the South, for people not to go out and vote. And people, our Black people, they go out and vote. They want to vote. You know why? What gives them problem when you got people with guns at the voting area? Yeah, because they did that when Obama came in. My homegirl called me and told me that they had white guys with shotguns trying to intimidate people from coming in there and voting. And then when we do vote, do they really give us who we need in our life? And for our community? And you got Trump out here, oh, they stealing votes, Y'all been stealing votes for years. Oh, he got documents. Y'all been taking home documents for years. You know, so now we have these Republicans and Democrats fighting with each other when we need to be building our country.
Here's a point. Obama passed a bill for the railroads to be built better in America, right? And Trump gets into office and he X's that out. He gets rid of it, right? He gets rid of it immediately. And then we had this big train disaster in Ohio a few weeks ago. And guess who shows up there to try to say, hey, I'm here to support you? Donald J. Trump shows up.
Because he don't want to say that Black.
But he's the one that reversed Obama's bill to help build the tracks better. But he has the audacity to show up in Ohio.
He did that because he didn't want Obama to get the accolades from it. He
Well, you
want
know
to
what?
see
No,
me.
you know
He
what
did
though?
it.
The people in Ohio. This is my point, though,
They
lady.
suffering now.
This is my
The
point. The people in
taxes.
Ohio, they should have told Trump, "Kiss our ass, get out of here." But they don't read, they don't
No.
study, and they don't do the research. So you know what they did when he showed up? They applauded him, and they took his Trump water that he brought there with his name on the bottle, Trump water, and they applauded him. They accepted him. They don't even know
Photo
that he's the
ops.
guy that stopped the railroads from being built better because he got rid of the bill. He got rid of the bill. Excuse me, he got rid of the bill that Obama put forth to help the railroads. They don't even know that because people don't read. People
But
just
now
lead with
you
their
done
hearts.
said it. Now y'all know.
And you know what? Some guys.
I think what people want, they want stuff substantial. They want to see stuff. You know, it's almost like they want stuff done immediately. None of this stuff that's going to take years. Don't tell me you're going to, over the next 10 years, your tax is going to decrease and all that. Okay, if I was in office and I had to do something for Black people, seeing that Black people were always given higher interest rate loans, they were denied purchasing houses, all that stuff needs to be amended. I think all that stuff, they should start just giving Black people stuff. I mean, you can call it a form of reparations, but I think that's what Black people are looking for.
Or change the whole
lower
system.
interest rates when we buy stuff. Give us lower. I don't care. Just give me some lower interest rates when we buy a house, lower than white people, because we had years of paying higher interest rate or having not being able to purchase anything. You know, give us free college. Right? All that stuff is what it seems the Republicans do stuff and don't care who's watching. Right? They just ram stuff through. But Black people, we're worried about what people are going to say. But what are they going to say? Who's watching? Republicans don't seem to give a damn who's watching. I would never say I would never say Republicans and Democrats are the same because I don't think they're not. Because I don't think you would ever hear a Republican, a Democrat say, "Let's bring back lynching" or "Let's bring back hanging from a tree." But Republicans say, and he don't care. He's not even worried about getting voted out of office, right? Because he knows that people behind him love what he just said. He walks out of there with a smile on his face.
Exactly. And guess who it is though? It's the Republican Party. The party that somebody just said is the same as the Democrat Party. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that the guy that just said one of the most racist things publicly is the same as a guy that doesn't say it. Now, if somebody, I mean, show me a Democrat that talks like that.
Now, if you want to
we can dig up Biden because Biden, I don't know what he is, but he was off the hook 20 years ago. His mouth was reckless.
You mean he said a lot of stuff?
Yeah, Biden is off the hook. You can even get stories from Judge Joe Brown. He said he done went into a area where he heard Biden talking. He thought he was at a KK rally. he said he's off the hook, you know, and I'm not surprised. And if you look at the matter of fact, is it the hip hop talking about hip hop? I think it's talking about hip hop. It's a hip hop on PBS. They got some footage of him talking real reckless about how he don't want certain people around his family and stuff like that. So he's a part of the problem. All of them is a part of the problem until they make solutions. That's it.
Can Democrats do more for Black people? Yes.
Yes.
Of course they can.
Are they the same?
I agree with that. I agree with that. They can do more. They can do more. But they can't do more.
Now, are they going to do more? Because are they going to do more? No. You know why? Because if you do more for us, what's that mean? We're going to start seceding. We're going to start doing better. We're going to start not needing them anymore.
Tiffany,
you understand?
we're already doing.
They're going to control us.
Tiffany, we are doing better. That's why we see the backlash. Why we see the backlash that we see. That's why you have white men in Brooks Brothers suits walking around talking about passing a lynching law. That's why you have a Donald Trump that was able to become president of the United States. This is all back. You think if Obama never became president, that Trump would have even made it out of the freaking primaries? Hell no.
No, they was tired.
We've been looking at another George Bush because Bush's brother ran for president. It'd have been George Bush. What's his name? Jed Bush would have been the next president. The reason Jed didn't become president or Hillary didn't become president is because millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of white America were upset that President Obama and his wife lived in the White House with the 2 little kids for 8 years, and they couldn't stomach it. I don't care what he did for black people. He had brown skin, and they couldn't handle it. And that's what Trump is a backlash. Everything that we're seeing right now in America is a backlash to that gentleman being in the White House for 8 years.
You're not lying, because we have more killings, more. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And so, I mean, to say we don't have no progress, I think there's plenty of progress in America. I think people will be happy if Obama gave out $1 million check to every black American. Then people go, "Oh, he's a great president." You know, I just think that's not realistic, and unfortunately, so.
Let me read a couple more comments before we go. Wayne, who's been on our show, what's up, Wayne? You guys remember Wayne?
Yes, hey Wayne.
Hey Wayne.
Steadfastly saying that Democrats and Republicans are the same. Doesn't make a difference. I don't know what the solution is, but Wayne doesn't give a solution. Wayne said Biden is more racist than Trump.
Oh my God. All right.
No, they can hang out.
Explain that. Wayne said, Kevin, black person, a black person would never succeed under any party. You need to separate. I mean, that all sounds good coming out of your mouth, Wayne, but how do you do that? I mean, it's easy to say that, but how do you do that? How do you just separate and be a successful group of black people? I mean, it sounds easy the way you're saying it. And James, before we go, James also commented, he said, damn Republican presidents, the system is about distraction. The ones who own them and have pics of them on an island, control is what's going on. While we argue over semantics, their plan continues. So basically, James is saying that the Dems and the Republicans are owned by, I don't know who are the owners of the Dems and the Republicans. There's pictures of them on the island. Maybe he's talking about that guy,
Weinstein.
Kill himself.
Talking about Weinstein.
The child molester.
Oh, okay. Epstein.
Yeah, so maybe he's saying that they have seen people think politicians are controlled and they're put in place. I've heard that before. Obama was put there to be the president. They already know who's going to be president in the next 4 years.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So that's where James. But what is the solution? What is the solution? Do we just give up? We can't win, then. If this is what people are saying, and if this is true,
we can't give up. We came this far.
I don't believe the hype. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I think it's just, I think it's fear mongering. I think it's just, I mean, I just think it's an excuse not to go to the polls and vote for people that died, so we can go to the polls and vote. You know, people are in that you know, Edgar Meggers and people like that were assassinated just because they were trying to get us to go vote. And now we got people that sit at home and don't go vote. Millions of black people don't even go to the polls and vote because
Kevin is right.
You know why they don't vote, Paul? Because Democrats are bad and Biden's a racist and Trump is better and Trump's a racist too, but he's better. You know,
it's like lesser of two evils, you know that. But we want our people to vote. Y'all need to vote, and y'all need to vote for people that you know that's going to fight for you and for your community. And if you feel like they're not, write them, because that's the main thing. If you feel like you need to write and tell them these are the things that you need, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah. If Kevin is right, if people are saying Democrats and Republicans are the same, they're not going to vote. They're absolutely not going to vote. If you're going to if you're thinking there's no difference between the Democrats and Republicans, why would you waste your time voting? You know, so. But I do believe people should vote. I mean, look at the Republicans. They broke off and started the Tea Party. You guys remember the Tea Party? Mm-hmm. Right? And they started actually putting people in Congress. They started putting people in political power. Why? Yeah. If we don't believe Republicans and Democrats are any different, then we should do something similar.
Or we need to put more people in power that is for the people and not for gains of knowing people or getting money. We need to put the proper people that's not afraid to talk or voice their opinion. But you know, I'm good.
Yeah. All right, Asia Coleman says we can never give up.
Right, we can't give up. We came too far.
Yes,
to give up.
I mean, I don't see why we would even think about giving up. Something's got to be done.
Do anybody here believe that the Civil Rights Act helped America?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, it was passed. It was passed mainly because of Democrats. I just want to put that out there. Okay.
Yeah. We just had a comment from Thelma Taylor. What's up, Thelma? Thelma says she agrees with you, Kev. She says most of us are doing better. Entrepreneurship among Black people, I think she's saying entrepreneurship is at an all-time high. So it seems like Black people are doing great, but
we're doing more for ourselves.
Yes.
We are being awakening to a lot of things that's going on. We're wanting more to be entrepreneurs and helping ourselves and family more. And that's good. We need to do more
I think
for
the reason
ourselves.
thing is because we're not waving a flag every time we get some success. People think we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. Every time a Black person opens a business, we can't be out there waving a flag. We got, their work. I think we're doing great. But
we have more black billionaires, more Black millionaires, more Black business owners, more Black homeowners. I mean, right now in America than we ever had before. And things aren't perfect, and things are bad in a lot of different. But I'm just saying, you can't look and say we're doing bad. If you don't like your job,
we're not
if a person don't like their job and like the car they driving or like the job they go to on Monday morning, you can't blame Joe Biden for that. That's all I'm saying. Get your shit together.
What? So I need a fund. I need a fund for my sister to help her with her 3 kids down south in Georgia, because it's hard out there for her to be trying to take care. And she's a single mom, and it's hard out there. She's not making what she should be supposed to be making in Georgia.
Yeah.
I can dig it. I can dig it. And you know what? You're right. People are struggling. People are struggling. People are. It's hard to make ends meet.
It's hard being a single auntie mommy. I have to help and assist because I know it's hard out there.
You're talking to a guy that was a single parent. You're talking to a guy that raised his daughter by himself. I had custody of my daughter since she was 6 years old, and I raised her till she went out the door to go to college. I was a single parent. I had, a single parent to a girl. So I know what it's like to be a single parent, and I didn't get on welfare either. I bust my ass. I used to go out on the corners and street perform just so people throw money at me so I can take care of my daughter. I bust my ass, taking care of my daughter. So I know what it's like. My mom was a single parent. I'm a product of a single parent, so I'm just saying, I get it. People are struggling. Your sister's struggling. God bless her for doing what she's doing and trying to take care of her kids and stuff. I don't know what the answer is, though, Tiff.
It's a Republican state which changed. I think they changed over to Democrat, right? Georgia, right? They changed over to Democrat now. I'm hoping that they will make some changes. They still haven't made any changes down there. It's the people that's trying to make changes. And I'm very proud of the people in the South that is bringing people out there to vote, to go out there to start picking your people to represent your community.
Well, actually, Stacey Abrams ran for governor, and she had a good plan to do some stuff, and she lost. She had a good plan. She went and told people, "I'm going to help you." She was a smart lady, and she was going to try to make some things happen, but she was rejected because she couldn't overcome a lot of the racism down in Georgia.
Yeah,
and
she wasn't controllable.
The rural areas and stuff like that. They didn't vote for her because she's a Black woman. They didn't want a Black woman to run their state.
And you just said it.
Some people vote against their own interests because they're that damn racist, Tiffany and Carl. People vote against their own interests all the time.
Yeah.
People voted for people in Kentucky had Obamacare, for example. This is true. They had Obamacare. They had health insurance. Because it was called Obamacare,
they had an issue with it.
They had an issue with health insurance because it was named after a Black guy. They went and voted for Trump and then lost their health insurance because Trump never replaced Obamacare with anything. He promised these people he's going to get them some insurance and then didn't do it. These people lost their insurance voting for a white guy just because they didn't like a black guy that had them, who got them insurance. You know what I'm saying? People vote against their own interests all the time. And it's usually middle class and poor people who vote
because
against
they
their own
don't know
interests.
no better. And we are praying now that, like with this social media, which is a curse and a blessing, that people will start using access to it. Learn about what's going on in your community, who's for you, what you want, what you need. Write letters. You have to do it. You have to do that walk too if you want to, especially the people in the South, because they won't really say nothing. But now they are waking up, and I'm very proud of them, because that also was stated in the 1619 Project, where they have a lot of groups, a lot of grassroots organizations doing their job. Now, you said Stacey Abrams. I'm going to be honest with you personally. I don't think she should be with the politicians. I think she should be a grassroots organizer. Stay on the ground with the people, because she can be able to mobilize the people more than with the political thing. Because, like you said, she was facing all that racism.
You get a lot done with she's done that work, Tiff. She's doing that work, sister. But you get a lot done with power.
But they don't want her.
Why do you think Trump want to be president? Here's a guy who was born rich. He's born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His dad was a billionaire.
Most of them white men were.
Why do Trump want to be president? Why does Biden want to be president? Biden is what, 80, almost 80 years old, 80-some years old?
It should be an age limit.
He should be in Delaware somewhere on a golf course, riding his Corvette and walking his dog on the beach and playing golf. Why do you think these old men and Trump old fat ass, why do you think these people want to be in the White House? Because they had the power. They had the power. It's not money. Trump don't need no money. Biden's rich. He don't need no money. It's power that they're after.
Mm-hmm.
They just want power. And that's why DeSantis want to be president. Because he's a governor of Florida, one of the biggest states in the United States. You know how much money he makes? You know how he lives? He lives like a king. You seen the Florida governor mansion? The guy is living like a king. But he wants the power, more power.
People in Florida, y'all better listen.
All right, we got to wrap this up. All right. So I want to thank everyone for checking out the show. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get notified once we go live on Sunday, 7 p.m. Asia Coleman said the South is not ready for a strong Black woman.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, Tiffany, before we go, anything you want to share? Anything you learned?
Well, something that Nicole Hannah said at the end of the end of the first episode of the 1619. She said, Black people were never the problem. We were always the solution.
Wow.
Take that, y'all. It was meant for us to come here. It was meant for us to have to go through these struggles, but we are here. We are resilient and we are standing strong. And like I said, we do this show because we want to have the conversation. We might not have all the solutions, but we can work towards it. And that's having the conversation. So thank you again to everybody for coming out to listen to us to talk. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment. We are here, or reach out at us at the Black Therapy Show at is at gmail.com, right?
Yes, at gmail.com.
Yes. Okay, and we love you.
All right. Kev, anything you want to share? Anything you want to, before we go?
Yes, I want to say that on this show, we agree and disagree respectfully.
Yes.
And so everybody can have their opinion, and we respectfully disagree, and that's what we are. That's what we do, right? So do your research. I do my research, and we can do this again next week. But my point, real quickly, we're going down a really bad rabbit hole if we continue to think that these two parties are the same. And like I said earlier, Democrats are far from perfect. They need a lot of improvements. They need a lot. They need to do a lot for Black people. Yes, they do need to do more. But to think that they are the same, that's a dangerous narrative that we're pushing right now for Black people to be pushing that they're the same. It's dangerous because Trump and DeSantis, if those guys get back in the White House, we already seen what happened on January 6th. Those are the people that want, you didn't see no January 6th under Biden. And I'm just leaving it at that.
All right. All right. So thanks to everyone for watching the show. Like I said, please like, share, subscribe. Like I always say, please tell the people you love that you love them because they're not psychic. And it means a lot more when people hear it. So please do that. It's not that hard because we can spout hate in a second, right? Somebody do you something, we can say, I hate you. Like that, no problem.
Facts.
But, showing some love seems to be a lot harder. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. And I'll be doing the show again from my prison cell. Next Sunday. All right.
I hope that ain't Bubba behind you. Don't drop the soap.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the Black Therapy Show. You in a safe space, dealing with the Black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. With Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We be giving you empathy, we gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God above. No, it's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
Peace. Hey, that was a great show, everybody.